Finally, Clemson Sports Talk has come back to Drive Time. Hello, everybody. Lawton Swan back in the saddle. Once again, it is the show that shakes the Southland. Clemson Sports Talk for you each and every afternoon as you make your way around the great state of South Carolina and beyond, listening to us on incredible radio stations like Fox Sports Radio 1400 in the Midlands, heard around the world on the iHeart radio application. Download today. It is free. The website, put the .com on it. Doggone it. That's ClemsonSportsTalk.com. 803-450-0086. 803-450-0086. Listen, first 20 minutes of the program right here live on all our social media channels that we can broadcast to at this point. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. If I could ever figure out how to broadcast live to TikTok, I know one way, get to 1,000 followers. We're only at like 300 and something. So come on over, follow that. Speaking of followers, let me just check right now, because we were, matter of fact, I'll just pull up on the old phone here. We were extremely close just a little bit ago to 30,000 followers on Twitter. Let's see where we are right now. 29,988. So we are what? 12 followers away from 30,000 on Twitter. That's a blessing. We got, 12,000 plus of you on Facebook. I'd love to run that number up. I'd love to get that number up to like 100,000. Let's get in. Let's be a part of it. Okay. Every day right here for you, 4 to 6 o'clock, but we give you 20 minutes out of the gates talking about, the nuances of college football, your Clemson Tigers as they get set to face off a night game. Florida Atlantic, the Owls, Tom Herman coming in this weekend. More on that in just a few minutes. If you're listening to the show right now on Fox Sports Radio 1400 in the Midlands and around the world on the iHeart Radio app, welcome. You, unfortunately, would not be able to call the program. So if you're listening, hanging out with us live right now, give us a call, be a part of the show. And if you are tuned in on iHeart and you want to participate, feel free. We can get you in tomorrow. Just leave us a message, 803-450-0086. Craig, good buddy, hanging out with us today. He says, you've come a long way. Can you believe it, Craig? 10 years on the air in the Midlands of South Carolina. Some people would have said this show wouldn't last 10 days, let alone 10 years. I'll tell you this. We collectively, as a group, are a lot older than we were when we started. I wish I had, and I said this on our 10th anniversary back in July, I wish I had the audio from the first show. I looked for it. I have no idea if at any point I ever archived it. I don't even know in that moment I was thinking that. I was just dripping sweat day one. I remember coming out of the gates like just a blast. And we've had a blast, but it has been, a great run. Well, I titled the show today The Numbers Edition, and I try to keep the shows unique with their name. And I don't think we've ever used that name before, but either way, and that's for the podcast, obviously, as well. But we did a story on the front page of our website, ClemsonSportsTalk.com. If you're not a member, come join us. $1 gets you started. $63.17 gets you a year coverage of your Clemson Tigers. That's right, Gamecock Nation. You heard it. $63.17 for you, or Tiger fans, I should say. I don't know how many Gamecock fans are ponying up $63.17 to be a part of the program, but we're always here for you, Gamecock fans.
So you can continue to peek over the fence at the best radio show in the nation.
The late, great Cleveland man there. But you can join us. And we had a story up this week on the website, ClemsonSportsTalk.com, actually earlier today on the website, about Hamp Green on his number one ESPN highlight play where he goes up with one hand, makes the grab. And so we have photographers that shoot for us as well. So we get our own photos of players. But then we also have access to rely on the USA Today's network through one of our package deals that we've got. Anyway, I just simply look up Hamp Green, and it pulls down what it perceives to be Hamp Green. Well, Tyler Venables also wears number 24. And the photo was labeled Hamp Green. And I didn't look too close at it. It's just labeled that way. It's in the system. I said, okay, that's Hamp Green. I put the picture in. I got home. I'm looking a little closer at it today. I was like, I think that's Tyler Venables. I don't remember Hamp Green wearing the old shoulder sling. And it got me thinking. And let me know if you agree with this in some way, shape, or form. So years ago, my wife, before college football season, would always, come to me and say, hey, look, I'm going to learn the roster. She wanted to make sure she knew all the players going into the season so that when the guys were running around the field, she could call out the names. Oh, that's Xavier Thomas. That's, Phil Maffa. And for many years, guys' numbers didn't change all that much, quite frankly. I mean, a lot of times when you and I were growing up, a guy who started his college career as number 25 would be number 25 every season. Man, not anymore. And the struggle is real, I think, for fans at times trying to keep up with, who's who out there on the gridiron. Now, some of you are saying, Swanny, you're overblown on this, old man. I keep up with it just fine.
Well, pardon me, Mr. Perfect.
I don't. It's tough for me to see Phil Maffa wearing number 7 instead of number 26. Like, I still want to think that's Kobe Pace. And it's now Phil Maffa. But in this scenario with Hamp Green and Tyler Venables, both guys wear number 24. Now, occasionally you get lucky. And the two guys, are of a different race. And it's very easy to tell. One guy's a white guy, one guy's a black guy. That's easy. No problem. I can identify those guys. Sometimes you can't. The photos, it's a far distance. It's very difficult. And so with this one, with Hamp Green and Tyler Venables, I'm looking and I'm like, that is not Hamp Green. That's Tyler Venables. So I had to go in and change it to an actual picture of Hamp Green. But look at all the numbers on Clemson's roster that are duplicated. Again, Barrett Carter and Antonio Williams. Easy to tell those two guys apart. It's a linebacker and a wide receiver. Will Shipley and Andrew Makuba, opposite sides of the field. Pretty obvious, those two guys. Cade Klubnik at quarterback. Both wears number 2. Nate Wiggins. Noble Johnson wears number 3. Xavier Thomas wears 3. Sherrod Coville wears 5. Josh Sapp wears 5. Tyler Brown, 6. Sheridan Jones, 6. Maffa, 7. Maskell, 7. Randall, 8. Trey Williams, 8. Mickens, 9. Brenningstool, 9. Stellato, 10. Lucas, 10. Ennis, 11. Peter Woods, 11. I don't think you're going to mistake Sage Ennis, the tight end, for Peter Woods, but Peter Woods, man, what a monster that guy looks like he's going to be. Paul Tyson is 12. TJ Parker is 12. Brandon Spector is 13. Tyler Davis is 13. Trent Pierman is 14. Shelton Lewis is 14. Ronan Hannafin, 15. Jaheim Lawson, 15. Miles Oliver, 16. Do you see where I'm going with this? I mean, this is ridiculous. I remember when part of the issue with players and NIL and this, that, and the other was, oh man, what about all their jersey sales, Swanny? What about all their jersey sales?
How dare you fill my head with such loathsome propaganda?
Whose jersey? Whose jersey is it? I don't even know. Like, the old conversation was about CJ Spillers, right? Number 28. That was always brought up. 28. Well, I mean, if you want to go Will Shipley, number one. Well, who gets the money if we were going to actually have something like that in place? Shipley or Maffa? Excuse me, Shipley or Makuba? Who are you going to give it to? Both guys wear number 1. I don't understand what happened, what made it so that all of a sudden we had to have so many duplicate numbers. If you're older than me, okay, please remind me, was this routine years ago? Maybe I wasn't paying attention when I was in college. My dad would say, you're probably right. You weren't paying attention in those classes either, kid. But I may not have been paying attention in college. But I feel like there weren't a lot of duplicate numbers the way they are now on the roster. Now, we'll talk to Tim Beret tomorrow. Well, what is the first number that's not duplicated? So 0 is duplicated, 1, 2, 3. We don't have a 4 on the roster right now, probably because maybe it's been re-retired. 5, 6 is duplicated, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is duplicated, 12, 13, 14, 15, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, 26. Jay Haynes, freshman running back. Looks like the first non-duplicated number on the roster. Think about that for a second. You got to go 25 players deep into the roster, 50 dudes on campus sharing the same number. And that's just a part of it, because you move a little further down, you run into it again. So you do all this prep work, right? Like my wife, and this is what I want to go back to. My wife used to print out, hey, can you print out the roster? Sure. She'd study that thing in the offseason. All right, so number 3, that's Xavier Thomas. She's going through the list. Now, not just poor thing her, poor everybody. Who made that catch? I don't know. I think it was Austin Randall. No, Randall, that's Adam Randall's brother. He's a cornerback. That was Joseph Flesh, wide receiver. Oh, Jeb Flesh's son. Yeah, that guy. Oh, well, I had no idea. It is wild how many numbers are duplicated. I feel like when I was younger that there were some duplicated numbers on the sidelines, but those are dudes that weren't getting in the game. Right? Like you'd have a star player like Stacy Driver or whatever wearing number 21, and then there's some guy from Honeypath over there, a walk-on wearing number 21, just to give him a jersey, because obviously you had to have some duplicate numbers. I understand that. Like some of you have been screaming at the radio. Well, no, Swanny. If you got more than 100 players on your roster, you can't run out there number 126. I understand that. There have been duplicates, but it hasn't been duplicates to the point of it's guys, who are out there on the field routinely. The duplicates were always people that didn't play all that much. Guys that you didn't know. Edward's in the house today. What up, Edward? He says, what's up, Lawton? Hey, listen, do me a favor. I mentioned going to 30,000 followers on Twitter. Did you hear about the debacle with our Instagram account? Let me tell you about it real quick. So Meta, after I tried to embrace Threads, I tried to take on their new platform. Meta, I only had about 3,000 people on Instagram. So it wasn't a lot. Still don't really know how to utilize it quite right. But anyway, I got an email, log into your account, log in. We're going to review your account. They reviewed it. Your account's been permanently disabled. Can't get it back. Signed up. I paid so that I could get tech support. Ridiculous. I need that $11 back. 22, because it took them 2 months to fix the problem. They never gave me my old account back, so I had to start a new one. They said I was impersonating because a listener who actually used to be connected and work with some guys at Meta found out what happened. They said I was impersonating. Who? Myself? As I said yesterday, the big head logo behind me, that's me. That was the logo on the website. That's the logo on the website. It's the logo on Twitter. It's the logo on Instagram. Anyway, so I got my new account. It's only got 200 followers. So follow us on Instagram at Clemson Sports Talk. I don't love the name. I'd like it uniform Clemson Sports. That's what I was going for before. But apparently, smack on the wrist. I don't know if it was Clemson. What? Clemson's always been very kind to me about everything we do. I have no reason to believe it was Clemson. There's other accounts named like Clemson.Tigers. Get rid of those guys before you start crushing your boy, Swanny. But I don't think it was Clemson. I just think it was their silly filtering systems. Anyway. Follow us on our social media accounts. Spencer chimes in. He says, Swanny, the preview books are almost worthless at this point. Spencer, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. There are so many duplicate numbers. So many duplicate numbers. Harry says his work account vanished after using it for 5 years. No way to recover. Isn't that amazing that a multi-billion-dollar corporation, one of the richest companies in the world, Harry, could just do whatever they want, and there's no like discourse, and then you, because they have so much reach, have to just go groveling back as if you did something wrong. You can't be like,
forget you, pal. Thanks for nothing.
You just have to go over there and rebuild it. Like, I thought to myself, can you imagine if you had an account on like Instagram that had, I had 3,000. That was painful. What if you had like 300,000 and it just went to kaput for nothing? No recourse, no anything. It's wrong. I mean, honestly, I thought about like contacting a lawyer, but I assume that's probably not even worth it. So anyway, we're just going to start back from scratch. So go follow us on Instagram. Help us out. And again, we try to be live here for you every day for the opening of the show. I do know this. I was talking to John, the engineer. By the way, if we're streaming on iHeart at 4:00 today, you can thank John. He told me on my way to the studio today to get rocking and rolling that there was an issue with the stream. So it may be down online out of the gates. I hope not. John's pretty swift with his fixes of things over there at iHeart. He's great. Fantastic guy. But I asked him, I noticed yesterday, I got the show done. I got out of here a little early. Some of you are like, Swanny, why do you like doing the show at home so much? I'll tell you why. Because yesterday, about 5:08 in the PM, I was done. And you guys still had 52 minutes to listen to. Well, technically not. You go to 55, 56, 50. So you had about 48 minutes or so left when I was officially done. I was able to get to another function, be a father, those things. So I like the ability to maneuver the time slot of this show. I'm a little bit like Marty McFly.
21 gigawatts!
I'm a time traveler, baby. I'm in the car listening to myself do the show, and I couldn't understand the audio that I played for you of Cade Klubnik. Now, on my end, on the podcast, go catch the podcast. Dude, it's crispy. Sounds great. Over the radio, here's what it sounded like. I was like, this sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher. What's wrong with that audio? So I talked to John. We're going to double check some things. I'm hopeful that any audio I play for you today, which I'll try to keep to a minimum because of that, will sound good. But I almost kind of have to play some for you just so that I can tech support it and see if making some changes in my system over here, which I'm going to do, make it sound better. So I'm going to run like a little science experiment, so to speak. You got to have your variables. You got to have your constants. So I'm going to run it through one time with my constant. Then I'm going to change some variables. And for you kids riding in the back of the car that are sitting there in a science class thinking you'll never use that, you will if you ever troubleshoot anything in your life. You may not use it like your teacher's talking about using it right now, but if you're ever troubleshooting something, believe you me, you will use all of that stuff. So again, thank you to everybody who at least commented, shared, subscribed, who was a part of the program. Man, we do appreciate you. It's amazing. As Craig said, we've come a long way, but we could not do it without you guys being a part of this show. And absolutely, we hope you're enjoying the coverage we're bringing you on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. I think you will be shocked at how incredible our site looks and feels on your mobile device and on your computer. I'm telling you, top of the line. Go check it out. Put the .com on it. Doggone it, that's ClemsonSportsTalk.com. All right, if you're watching the live stream, we're going to be jumping off, okay? We will be back on the air at 4 o'clock on Fox Sports Radio 1400. This segment will be there for you, and then we'll pick the show up. So if you want to just jump right in with us, come in about 4:24 in the PM. You'll be good to go. You won't hear all of this again. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us again. Thank you so much for all your support. And I hope you like what we've done with the place. We're trying to get the stream back up, rocking and rolling here for you, at least for 20 minutes out of the gate every day. And again, until tomorrow, as always, y'all take care now and go Tigers.